Alright, so Wreck-It of Ragnarok Chapter 99 and Apocalypse of the Gods Chapter 9. We got both previews to cover today, but you guys know what I need from you first. Drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel, and let's continue to grow our Wreck-It of Ragnarok community. First, let's start with the Ragnarok chapter, the main series. It's very short and simple. The White Death versus the Trickster begins. All it is telling us that the fight is going to start, which means we're definitely going to get the introductions to both characters entering the arena. We're going to get the arena reveal, which I still believe is going to be a custom stage. Only makes sense to be that to me. We got a little tease to that with Simo being out in the forest. I do think that we see a snowy mountain slash foresty landscape in the arena. That's what I've been predicting for months now. Hopefully that comes to pass, but maybe they'll divert our expectations. It'll be something completely different. But Simo is notorious for being a sniper out in the snow. It also seems likely that Simo has some kind of presence erasure or invisibility, as his Valkyrie, we talked about this in the chapter breakdown and also the spoilers, his Valkyrie could not sense his presence all throughout the forest. Then she took the break, and then Simo just appeared behind her, and she was absolutely surprised. That makes a lot of sense given that he's going to be a sniper. Camouflage, invisibility, presence erasure, all make sense for him. I am interested to see how the dog will play into this. Maybe it'll just be like Kukulin from Apocalypse of the Gods, where the dog will just wait for him at the entranceway and then wait for him to come out if he was to win. But we did see Lubu's red horse get involved in the fight, so what if they bring this dog into the fight? I've already seen some comments of people dropping some ideas for what the dog could do, and all I can think about is what happens if this dog is part of the fight and Loki wins, he kills Simo, and he kills the dog too. It would make Loki one of the top heels in the damn series. On the other hand, with Loki, we have seen that Loki, of course, can turn into Thor, turn into Odin. So a lot of people have been speculating that he's going to be able to turn into animals and wildlife out in this foresty region. That could mess with Simo's shot. So Simo potentially is going to have to sift through illusions, sift through which is the real Loki. All this could be a great cat and mouse game, and I cannot wait to see how it goes. And there's a lot of Simo fans that have been waiting 6 years for this fight, as he was revealed as part of a popularity contest, as fans got to decide 2 characters to get their designs revealed early, and the winners were Simo and Shinshi Wang. So he is a very popular character. A lot of people have a lot of hype behind this guy, so hopefully he delivers. Despite this though, with the recent revelations and plot developments for Loki's character in regards to his love story with Hilda, it's got a lot of fans to start shifting their mindset to actually potentially rooting for Loki to win this fight. A lot of people feel bad for him, as he's in a terrible position where the woman he loves is in love with another. He's willing to do anything for her. She is literally begging him to fight to kill him to save the man that she prefers. Now, it's not just that simple. Of course, it's to save humanity and everybody else as well, but in Loki's perspective, you saw the emotion all over his face in the entire interaction with Hilda. You saw him freak out after their conversation, and now he is resolved to go out there and, enact some kind of vengeance. At least that's what it seems to me. Some people have come up with an idea where Loki will not bring himself to be able to stifle Hilda's plan, and potentially he'll make an illusion to where it looks like he dies as well. Others have claimed that there may be a draw. Personally, I think what I would choose is Loki winning, having the plot thicken between Hilda and him going forward. But will these emotions have an adverse effect on his performance? He's coming into this fight without getting any permission from the higher tier gods like Odin or Zeus to enter this round. He didn't talk with them about the fact that Brunhilde literally handpicked an opponent for him. He made this decision himself when Anubis was supposed to go, without talking to anybody, as far as we know. That's what Zeus said, right? We don't know if he talked to somebody else in private, I guess, but as far as Zeus is concerned, he didn't talk to anybody. Does this mean he's going to enter this fight a little bit too arrogant, a little bit too careless? Is he going to leave himself open? We'll have to find out. It looked like he collected himself before he made the walk, as he got his crying out, but he's going in there with absolute anger. Is it going to be a benefit or a detriment? Great storylines going on within the fight. And lastly, on this topic, I saw this comment and it intrigued me. This person was upset at the fact that Loki, the trickster god, the slyest god within the heavens, is being manipulated by Hilda. And all I can say is really, he's in love with her. I don't even really consider it necessarily affect where she's outsmarting him. She came out and just was direct with him about the fact that she's picking somebody to kill him. He knew what her ulterior motives were. He knows she's doing it to save Siegfried, that it's self-serving. He knows that she doesn't truly care for him, right? So I don't think that he's being manipulated in regards to like, hey, you know, I do this for her, she's always been nice to me or whatever. I think he saw through what she was doing. It's just he loves her, so he's going to do it anyway. Now, you maybe make an argument based on what I just talked about that maybe the real manipulation tactic is pulling on the heartstrings before it coming out with this kind of dialogue toward him to make him emotional going into the fight. Maybe, but I'm not really upset with this. I actually think that it's a pretty good sub storyline that's going on, and it makes this fight all the greater and all the more unpredictable to me. So Loki's out for blood. We got confirmation this chapter that it seems he can spawn whatever he wants out of his palms. At least that's what it seems. We've seen the scythe blades, obviously, and now we've seen the rose come out of his hand. So sky's the limit for what he could do. I will be interested to see if there is any close combat encounter, though, because Simo does have a bayonet on his gun as well. I think that this fight is going to be one of the best in the series. Hopefully it lives up to the hype. We'll have to wait and see. Now moving over to the Apocalypse of the Gods preview, which is a little bit more thought-provoking, as we have the preview stating, Sun Wukong vs Prometheus, a shocking outcome. With overwhelming strength, who will emerge victorious in the end? Now, obviously, from these words, it seems that the fight will be ending next chapter. I don't think a ton of people would be surprised by that because it looked like Prometheus was damn near out of it. But since it says a shocking outcome, does that mean that Prometheus might actually get this dub? I don't know if I'm going that far, but I do think that Prometheus has at least one more trick up his sleeve now that the chains have broken. I do think that he'll have one last hurrah, but I think in the end, Wukong gets it done, just outputting a little bit more force from the 15% that almost finished Prometheus and one-shot him. I think can get the job done, but maybe it'll be a scenario where Prometheus pulls some kind of epic move that leads to the end of Wukong. We'll have to find out, but the word shocking outcome has me a little bit concerned for the Monkey King. What this also tells me, though, is that we're probably not going to get a full-fledged Wukong backstory this round. They kind of gave us a quick abridged version, but I do think that it's something that they could definitely explore in a later round. So we didn't really get one for Kukulin either, but I do think that because obviously he's going to continue on in the tournament, there's a ton of time where that could be expounded upon. The same could be said for Wukong. But for a character like Ra, we didn't get an in-depth backstory for. So it doesn't inherently mean he has to win, but I do think that it may lead us to believe that we're going to see his backstory in greater detail at a later date. I also don't necessarily think that the author is going to tease us with percentages to Wukong's attacks without giving us the payoff to at least something well exceeding 75% at some point in this tournament. Now, an outside-the-box idea could potentially be a situation where Wukong simply yields. We already know he really doesn't have any convictions to be in this tournament. He did it out of boredom. So maybe Prometheus getting back up impresses him enough to be like, hey man, you seem to really want to win this. So I'm going to let you go on and I'll be cheering you on in the rounds to come. I could see a scenario where this happens because it's kind of a cop-out to not have to have Wukong lose at any point, and he can leave while still looking like an absolute beast, gives the fans what they want to see in Wukong making an appearance in the manga without actually having to tap into his full power. Also could be a scenario where they want to build toward a Prometheus versus Ku fight that has some setup already, but I'm interested in your guys' thoughts on that. Also, depending on how long this fight goes, we may get a tease to the third round matchup between Indra and Suzaku, otherwise known as the Vermilion Bird. I'm very interested to see how Indra fights, because ever since we saw his design in Record of Ragnarok, when he lost to Rudra and Shiva and Rudra climbed the mountaintop, I was like, dude, this is one of the best designs in the series. I wish we got to see a full-fledged fight between him and Rudra, but of course, time constraints and everything was just part of a backstory, so I doubt they were going to get that detailed with it. Now we're going to get that opportunity against another man in Suzaku, who has been hyped up as a strong fighter. Even in the panel where it said only the strong could see Kukulin's final attack, Suzaku was among the few. Indra as well, though, so I do think they're going to give Indra adequate hype, and I wouldn't be surprised if Indra pulls an upset, but we'll talk more about that probably next month as we get the preview for chapter 10 of Apocalypse of the Gods, as I'm sure that will be leading us into that. But I wanted to give you guys this quick update, get your guys' thoughts on what is upcoming in the chapters for February. As always, let me know what you think in the comments below. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.